Well, the thing is, I was preparing an entire setup of oil and had recorded a bunch of videos, but I got deleted, so I lost quite a good amount of footage, at least 20-30 minutes. So I'm just gonna make this quick and demonstrate what I have completed with the oil setup. So I'm just gonna get there first. That is the oil factory that I built. It took like 10 days, 2-3 hours, maybe 1.5 hours a day. So this is producing 900 rubber, 900 plastic, and 1200 petroleum coke using just 900 petrol. So on an efficiency scale, this is pretty efficient. Alright, train go choo choo. I didn't use any mods while making this, but since I lost all the footage, for now, just to demonstrate, I'm going to use the mod. Pretty quickly, this is where the oil node is. So we have oil. Using power shafts, I'm getting 300 oil per minute. That through the pipes, this is just a storage container, goes into these refineries. Wait, can I remove it? One sec. Right, so these refineries convert 30 crude oil per minute to 40 heavy oil residue and 20 polymer resin. And the input for the 10 of them, because one pipe has a maximum capacity of 300, so it's all math. And then these will produce, 10 of them will produce 400 heavy oil residue split into 2 pipes, and well, whatever the polymer resin, 200 I think per side. And since I've got 2 oil nodes, I'm producing 2 rows, so that's 400 plus 400, 800 heavy oil residue and 400 polymer resin, the blue plastic trash crap thing, whatever it is. Anyway, so this was the first setup, the first stage, and that is the last stage on top. I'll go to where my second stage was. The second stage of this build was to get the polymer resin into these 10 refineries. This one is using a recipe that uses 60 polymer resin per minute with water to give me 20 plastic per minute. So 5 times is 100. The same here, but this one is making rubber. Now why, you'll see in a bit. This is just the water pipes, 300 into 2, no, it's 240 water actually, 120, and this one with, come on, power shot, 162, and this one is another 120, so that's 400, 200 water each for these 2 setups. This was stage 2 or part 2, step 2, whatever you want to call it. This is the output for rubber and plastic that's going towards the main production center up there. Now step 3 was to get this setup. This is the water bottle plant. What this does is it uses, that's a lot of refineries, 7 times 428. It uses 28 refineries that make 60 water per minute. You do the math, it's huge. And they consume empty canisters and water that comes from these extractors. Now, I don't actually need to manufacture these empty canisters. I already had a setup with 1 or 2 refineries making plastic, and then just built this much and this just left it in the system. Now it packages water, goes there, then unpackages, and well, it comes back. You'll see where it unpackages, right? So now with the water, I mean, the precision and everything has to be there, right? I had divided the refinery setup in a way that would maximize efficiency. You've got 5 refineries that will take 60 water per minute, so that's 300. One pipe has a maximum capacity of 300. So one pipe will feed these 5, one pipe will feed these 5, and then I'm left with these 4 that do not require 300 but 240. So that's 2 extractors feeding these 4. And then I've duplicated the same thing with 4 and 2 5s on this side. That gives me a total of 28 times 60. I had it calculated, but that video got deleted or destroyed. Anyway, so that was stage 2. No, stage 1, 2. That's stage 3. That was stage 3. Now this is stage 4. This is the next stage, but it's not that complicated. But then it is pretty big. What this stage does is uses the bottled water that I'm getting, 60 packaged water per minute, and you recall the heavy oil residue that I was getting, that pink liquid in these pipes. So one pipe is used by 7 of them. Because I'm making 200 and this one consumes 30 into 7, 210, it kind of balances out. So I've got this recipe which basically converts oil and water to make fuel. This is 30 oil plus 60 water gives me 60 fuel. So it's basically converting water to fuel. That's the amazing bit of this recipe. And now these are making fuel. These are packaged fuel, which is to Mark 1. Let me just convert this to. Okay, so embarrassing. Alright, so these are packaged fuel, and I've got 7 times 4 setup just to duplicate 7 times 4 over there, and because there are 4 pipes, and that production is coming here into these 7 refineries that are converting packaged fuel into empty canisters, which will go back all the way and then get converted into packaged water, and then the other output, which is fuel, which is what we need. So fuel is out in pipes, and these pipes go into these large containers or separate pipes. Again, the maths was there, 5 of them use into one pipe, and then the other 2 will join with these 2 to make 4. Again, 5 into one pipe, and this way go up. That was stage 4. Was that stage 3? Stage 4, and this is stage 5, the final step, where we convert fuel into plastic and rubber. Yeah, this is rubber. It's just duplicate or reciprocal of this. Instead of 30 plastic per minute, I would use 30 rubber and make plastic. So I'm not going to go through recipes, but you can see 30 plastic per minute with 30 fuel will give me a lot of rubber. Okay, anyway, whatever the problem there is. So I've got 10 refineries and then 8. So that's a total of 18 refineries, which produce about 1080 rubber per minute, and then 15 outputs will be used. The other 3 are going back into the system, into these refineries that use rubber to make plastic. Because if you look at it, what essentially is happening is I'm making 60 plastic using 30 rubber. So 3 times, I'm making 60 here, right? 3 times 60, that's 180. That gets converted into all of this plastic. And you remember I had a whole bunch, 5 assemblers, 5 refineries making plastic from there. So that plastic and rubber is coming in and feeding into the system again. And this is going to sustain at the end 15 times 60 rubber production, or 90 rubber per minute. It's 2 lines of 480 each. And then this rubber is going to storage. Same with this plastic. I've got the train network set up for plastic so far. I'll do the same for rubber, and since I'm not doing it, I'm just collecting points for now. Now that was the complete setup of converting 300 oil to 900 plastic and 300 oil to 900 rubber in a very efficient build. Another 300 oil that is being extracted from here is being converted into, again, the same recipe, heavy oil residue and polymer resin, with the polymer resin going into the sink, the heavy oil being used here to make petroleum coke. Now 60 or 40 heavy oil residue makes 120 petroleum coke, and this makes exactly 40, so there's no overflow. and 120 times 10, that's 1200 petroleum coke, which is going through these conveyor belts to my aluminum plant. Okay, so that was the complete setup and build for a very efficient oil system, oil drilling plant, whatever it is. We'll have to build the walls around this later on, because let's face it, this does not look very good or very cool. I'll finish it later on and then showcase in the next or in a future episode what this looks like. That's it for now. Thank you.